Alright, welcome to this episode of my playthrough of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. We are in this tower on the island in Velen because Keira has been requested by the local townspeople to lift the curse of the island, and fearing that the peasants might rat her out if she doesn't prove herself as a witch, has asked... But she's unable to go there herself because of her sensitivity to the magical forces and everything like that. So she's asked us to go visit and see what's going on. We found the tower. We climbed up. We found the spirit of the daughter of the nobleman of the area, who was in love with the lab person. I forget his title. Not an alchemist, but something like an alchemist. And he told her to stay hidden and safe, and she did. And he gave her a potion, which basically had a sleeping potion, except the fact that the rats came in and ate everybody, including her, even though the effects of the potion hadn't quite worn off yet. So she kind of got eaten alive, and so she's got this a little bit of a harbored resentment, but she says she's willing to forgive him if he proves himself to her. So she's asked that we take her remains to him so that he can bury them properly to prove his love for her, and so therefore she will forgive it, which will supposedly lift the curse. Things seemed a little sketchy with her, though, honestly. So I have a funny feeling that when we take the remains to him, that things are going to go badly. But, honestly, I didn't really have any legitimate reason to say no to the request, so that's what we're going to do. Let's go and see how this turns out. I hope it's not too bad. Let's go. So yes, Anabelle is the ghost that we encountered here. These corpses are glowing red, so that's something.
Experimenting on humans. Never would have gotten away with it if the Conclave were still in charge.
Huh. The Mage Alexander's Log, Part 1. Day 237, my experiments continue to return results I must consider unreliable. Methodological errors are not at fault. The problem lies in the shoddy and fallible research material I am forced to work with. Despite his prior assurance, Viserad is unable to provide me with enough moderately healthy specimens for my tests. Most of the material is starved and terrified, having been dragged here straight from the dungeon. I waste a great deal of time time daily washing and delousing them before I will so much as let them step foot into my laboratory. Sterility first. As Marty Sodergren managed to prove it in her little-known work, the attitude of a patient undergoing treatment can have a significant impact on the battle against the disease. Unfortunately, the volunteers with which I am supplied do not show sufficient comprehension, let alone enthusiasm for the noble work in which they are taking part. In fact, it seems they consider the research part of their punishment. I have tried a few times, though I am but a poor speaker, to convince them that they are contributing to the eradication of one of the greatest plagues tormenting mankind. I had the distinct impression that they understood little, but perhaps their stupor was merely the result of the early stages of the illness. Of course, it is impossible to achieve success without significant sacrifices. The overwhelming majority of them will have to lay down their trifling lives on the altar of learning, but that is a sacrifice I am willing to make. The ends justify the means. We've heard that argument so many times throughout history. Don't like the meat hooks hanging from the ceiling. I'm going to go up there, but before I do, I'm going to check out this chest over here. Oh, there's another red thing. The Mage Alexander's Log, Part 2. Day 346. I never did like rats, not because of their obscene tales, but rather on account of their lively, disturbing intelligence. They are always listening when a man believes he is talking only to himself, and what's worse, they seem to understand. A few days ago I caught myself talking to one of them, to a particularly large black male with a torn-off ear. At first, I was overcome by panic. Was this a first manifestation of the illness? Of course, that was impossible, for I had fortified my immunity with powerful spells. Upon further consideration, I concluded it was an altogether natural reflex, one even the most learned among us find it hard to restrain. We mages like to be listened to. I placed the black rat in a separate cage. The time will come for it to play a part in the tests. Meanwhile, it can keep me company and observe. I've noticed it looks with great concentration at the cages of its infected brethren, particularly those in the last stages of illness. Fascinating. Speaking of company, I have none besides the black rat, and cannot hope for better. Viserad avoids the laboratory and has expressed his desire for his daughter to steer clear of me as well. At first I thought he feared a moral scandal, which would be risible in the extreme, but he explained the true reason in due course. It seems Anabelle has always possessed a fragile psychic constitution. Observing the ill might throw her into foul humors. Oh, joy, lovely. The peasants taking part in the study have stopped speaking to me. I don't know what they believe this little act of defiance will serve. It does me no harm. They made for lousy conversation partners. There remains, of course, the woman, but as for her, I try to limit my contact. Day 362. My black rat has died. Today I found him curled up in his cage. I suspected he had become infected on accident, but during the autopsy I did not uncover any signs of illness. He was also perfectly well fed. Strange. From a medical point of view, his death remains unexplained, something which, I must admit, irritates the scholar in me, but as mentioned previously, I'm not particularly fond of rats. Lesser Divana runestone, ruby dust, string, diagram of cavalry trousers, manuscript page of the Tawny Owl. I think that's all on this floor, so let's keep going up. Very foggy out there.
Kept in there until the end. What a shitty way to die.
I don't disagree with you, Geralt. That is a terrible way to die. And again, more meat hooks and manacles, it looks like. Alright. Well, I don't think there's anything here for me to get, so let's head back down and take Anabelle to Graham. There's some things making sound down there, but I think that's monsters like drowners outside the tower. Yeah, making that drop would be painful. Just making sure I haven't missed anything. Like that chest, which is glowing yellow. But I think that one had a lot was locked, if I recall. No, it's just bags with saltpeter, cloth, things like that. Anything else I might have missed? Nope. Okay. Oh yeah, and there was, of course, the person who died recently, which Anabelle claimed to know nothing about. I.e., died not with the rats, when the rats came and killed everyone. Kind of suspected that perhaps Anabelle might have played a part in that. Ah, yeah, this is the, this door is locked. That door goes down into the basement, and that door over there goes outside. There's the things making sound out there. Alright, so let's head back to the boat, where we can head back to the mainland and take Anabelle's remains to Graham, so he can bury them.
A fresh corpse. Must have come here a while after the nobleman's death.
Okay, the other thing is, when I was outside, there's this cloud of swarming something, which seems to be following Geralt. It doesn't otherwise seem to react to the magic lamp or anything like that. Not entirely sure what it is. But it doesn't seem to hurt me or anything, so...
Wonder what killed them. Doesn't look like the work of necrophages.
That is ominous. Just want to get into the boat. Thank you. Why can I not steer? Ah, there we go. Alright, so marker is pointing me in this direction. Let's take a quick look at the map and see where I'm going. Oh yes, that's over there. Okay. Oh! It happens to be taking me close to this notice board, which I haven't examined yet. Alright. Because Kira's hut is over here. Yeah. Then we took Kira's boat here, down here, and landed here. So that's where I went. But it looked like there was a boat over here that I could have taken. Oh well, whatever. Like a dock here. So this looks like a place called Orton, or Ortown, or whatever. Some people having an argument.
This be the witchman, freak of nature. Pick more in. Why you been following me?
I haven't been following you at all. I just showed up here, but okay.
Just wondering what you want from him. From Graham.
Me? Didn't want nothing. It's his mother be worried about him.
Been locked in his hut since he came back from the Isle. Talks to no soul. Love's misery curdled his brains, I reckon.
He won't be as cocky once the Baron's men whip your arse.
Oh, what do you know? This happens to be the guy we're looking for.
I want to talk.
You're deaf, damn it! I told you. Who are you?
I've been to the island. I know what happened there.
What do you want of me?
Want to talk to you about Anabelle.
Anabelle? What can you know about her?
I met her. Talked to her.
Anabelle's dead. Drank poison. And I couldn't save her.
Did you love her?
Something mad. Loved her so deep I believed we'd come through, believed we'd be together. Of course, it was not to her father's liking. His daughter and a plain lout.
What happened on Fyke Isle? You gotta tell me.
'Twere Millie, Finch and Faulkner. They rallied the men, all roughs, to go to the Isle, take back what was ours from the noble. They knew I was known at the tower, that the Lord's servants would open the gate for me as soon as I sold them fish.
They forced you to go with them?
No, I saw my chance in it, for Anabelle and me to flee. But it all spun in a chaos. Our boys from the village, they started killing everyone. Anabelle, they wanted to rape. 'Twas then she drank the poison. Mage must have gave it her. I ran out the tower hollering that I wanted to die, cursing them all to hell. Don't force me to speak of it. No more, please.
Said you were hollering as you fled the tower, the island. What exactly did you say?
I don't remember. I wanted them to pay for what they'd done to her.
Might have cursed them. There's a powerful magic aura on Fyke Isle. Passions, evil intent, strong emotions of any kind can activate it. Your words could be the curse's source.
She took the poison because of them.
It wasn't poison. Anabelle drank a strong sleeping potion. Mage wanted to protect her, make it look like she was dead. Convinced everyone.
That means... she... You said you spoke to her?
Spoke to her ghost. By the time she awoke, Tower was full of cold corpses. And rats. She was warm meat. Rats ate her alive.
You mean... she was alive the whole time? But... can't be. She was cold all through like a corpse. I shook her, begged her, open your eyes. I never thought...
It's not your fault. No guilt in not knowing, and you couldn't know it wasn't poison she drank.
Gods, what have I done? If I had stayed behind to bury her, I didn't notice she was alive. It might have ended different, ended well.
If you'd stayed on the island, I doubt you'd have survived.
I'd take death over leaving her to the rats like that. But there's naught I can do about it now.
Wrong on that count. Anabelle needs you. Her soul will only find peace if you help her.
But what can I do? It's too late.
Bury her bones. Anabelle should be laid to rest by one who loved her. It's the only way to lift the curse that holds Fyke Isle.
Those are... her bones.
Yes.
Give them here. And leave me be.
Huh. That ended a lot better than I expected it to.
A girl and plated flowers. Looks like a small shrine.
Well, yeah, Geralt. Great detective here. The guy who loved her and feels like he's the cause of her death built a shrine to a girl. Wonder what that could be. Okay, so next objective was going to be to tell Keira I've lifted the curse on Fyke Isle. But that scream was not great, so let's investigate what happened. Maybe I spoke too soon. I don't think things did end well.
Dead. Anabelle was no ordinary ghost. She's a pesta, and now she's free.
A pesta? What the heck is a pesta? And now there are rats here. Oh, well, that, I said I had a feeling that things weren't going to go well. Turns out I was correct. Hello, Roach. That was a little sloppy on my part, but could have been a lot worse. It's one of those things that I'll admit it's been a little bit since the last time I recorded myself playing the game. Just schedule commitments, things like that. So you do that and you get a little rusty on things like the combat. Whoa. There's an exclamation point in this building.
The Allgod demanded 6 sucklings. You didn't bring but a single scurvy run. No wonder he cursed us. We're doomed.
You's the one brought soured wine. Curse is your fault as much as mine.
Well, let's see what these guys are arguing about.
What are you doing here?
What? The sun flying from the moon? We're making offerings to the Allgod, clearly.
You too can seek his aid. That's if you've got fitting offerings. He scorned ours, then cursed the old village.
The Allgod, you call him. First I've heard. Is some new deity?
Nay, 'tis ancient, revered by our forefathers. They say it were like this. Roslav of Oriton came here to gather brushwood. And suddenly, for no reason, a bush burst into flame. Then, Roslav heard a voice from the ground, demanding offerings and obedience.
We've been coming here since then, bearing gifts, in exchange for which the Allgod watches over us, keeps us from evil.
Mm-hmm. Plain to see that. So, what's wrong with your offerings?
You needn't mock us, you can see right well we brought scraps. Before the war, I wouldn't give this such to me hounds. But what can we do? Such are the times.
And they're like to get worse. Allgod said if he don't get a rafter of bacon and a barrel of beer at least, the rivers will fill up with frogs and locusts or some such will devour the harvest.
I could intercede on your behalf with this Allgod of yours. Got a feeling we'd come to an understanding.
Well, I suppose it can't hurt to try. To speak with him, you have to stand before the altar and cry out, Allgod, help a poor wretch in need. Who knows, he might just listen to a foreigner.
Well, that's interesting. A greedy god. I want to read that mission description first. Suggested level 7. I am level 7. Okay, so that's good, but I kind of feel like I want to finish up a tower full of mice first. In the backwoods of Velen, Geralt came across an altar, and next to it 2 troubled villagers. When asked the source of their worries, the peasants told Geralt that the deity they worshipped, the awe-inspiring Allgod, had rejected the offerings they had brought him. The Witcher was not a particularly gods-fearing individual, yet nevertheless promised that he'd intercede for the peasants with their deity. Yeah, I'm gonna finish up with Keira first. Then I'll come back.
Not so fast, Roach.
Stop!
I got a new signpost.
Geralt, just when I was starting to miss you.
Alright, well, let's, I'm going to investigate a little bit, and then we'll deliver the news.
Tell me more about this mage from the Isle. Were you two close?
Never expected you'd take such an interest in my private life.
More interested to know if you bonded, as fellow magic practitioners.
Oh, we had little in common in that arena. Oh, Alexander was one of those anxious experimenters, forever short on sleep. The kind that thinks perfect happiness is an isolated tower and a full set of vials and alembics.
Ah, I've had that conversation with her in the past.
Fyke Isle's free of its curse.
And you withheld this news until now? Why? I gave you a Xenovox. But the curse, what was its source?
The dark spell clung to the spirit of Anabelle, the Lord's daughter. To free her and the Isle, Graham, her beloved, had to help me.
So it ended well.
I lifted the curse, so the island's clear. Annabelle's soul is free. Thing is, turned out she's a pesta. Graham's dead.
And you failed to notice? You're losing your touch. Be that as it may, Fyke Isle is free of its curse. That's important. I'm almost inclined to say good work.
One thing's bothering me.
What?
Anabelle said Alexander was studying diseases. She mentioned Catriona. You knew this?
All the mages knew about it. Alexander was a highly regarded epidemiologist. I would have given anything for an opportunity to study his notes, but he guarded them jealously.
The lamp. What do you want to do with it?
As I said, you may keep it. I don't believe I shall need it anymore, given the Isle's been cleansed. I actually regret not going there with you. Perhaps we can make up for that lost time now.
All right. Time I was on my way.
Perhaps you'd stay just a bit longer? There's one small favor you might yet do for me.
What is it?
I put in an order for a few substances from Novigrad. The trader was due to be here yesterday, but has yet to arrive. Could you see what happened? The package is rather important to me.
Why not? If he was coming here from Novigrad, he must have passed through Blackbow. I'll check the area.
Thank you. I shall be ever so grateful.
What can I say? I'm a helper. Well, I'm going to call an end to the episode here. You know the drill. Click over there. Join me next time as we... well, first of all, we're going to go talk to the Allgod, and then we're going to check in on Keira's messenger. So see you then.